Hey, what's going on, Blue Noses? It's me again, the boy in blue, back with another Blues football phoning. And joining me today is my Blues brother, Nick.
How are you? Yeah, I'm all right, Jamie. I'm buzzing after the weekend's win. Into the third round draw, which is about to take place anytime soon. So yeah, really pleased to get into the third round. I'm doing all right, mate. Looking forward to tonight's episode. Get the devs on, ask him a few questions, see what he's been up to, and a little bit of insight into the career. So yeah, really looking forward to it.
Let's get him on, mate. Let's get him on. Here he is, Paul Devlin. How you doing, mate?
All right, lads. Sound, yeah, all good.
Right, Devs.
Good to get you on, Paul, and thanks for making time for us again, mate.
No worries, mate.
Always. You're one of my idols, mate.
Cheers.
Blues grew up. The Blues glory days. So Nick's got a few questions to ask you because you've come prepared, haven't you, mate?
Yeah, I've got a few questions, Ev. So thanks for making the time, first of all. Really appreciate it, brother.
No problems.
So the first question, these are questions kind of like people have asked me to ask you, and ones I really would like to see your answer to them. So can you share your journey to signing for Birmingham City and what it meant to you as a player?
Yeah, as a kid at school, and I never wanted to. I mean, obviously, I love football, but I never thought I was going to be good enough to be a professional footballer. So I just played like non-league Sunday football. Got noticed playing for a Sunday league team. I come on as sub. I wanted to be a chef when I left school, so like weekends, evenings, I was working. So whatever teams I played for, I was only sub here and there. And I come on as a sub in a cup final in Tamworth for a team called St Mary's on Celtic. The Tamworth youth team manager was there. Thought I did all right in the 20 minutes I came on. Signed for them on a Wednesday night league, a youth league. Made my debut for the first team that season. So within 2 years, I made my debut in the first division, the old first division for Notts County. So it all, I climbed the pyramid of non-league in 12, 18 months and made my debut in the top flight. I had 4 brilliant years at Notts County. Real good club, to learn your trade, and made some great friends there, lifelong friends, Michael Johnson, Andy Legg, people like that, who I still speak to this day. And yeah, I remember it well because John Howard left. He was out the team at Notts County when Steve Thompson and Colin Murphy come in. And he just rang me one day. He said, "Listen, Baz really fancies you. Would you come to Blues?" And, obviously being a Blues fan, having gone down there and, from the early 80s watching them, I didn't have to think twice. And it all happened quickly. And funnily enough, myself and Andy Legg both joined, both signed in a joint deal. So it was great to get the old trio back up and running again. But yeah, I remember it well. I remember making my debut against Sunderland. It was funny because we'd played.
What year would this be, Devs? What year?
Would it be 96, something like that, 95, 96? But we played. My first game was Sunderland at home, and earlier in that season, Notts County had beat Sunderland 3-2, I think, and I'd scored 2. And they had a Welsh international called Andy Melville playing at the back. And I absolutely murdered him that day, tortured him, scored 2 goals. We beat him. So, debut, am I playing against Andy Melville? So I made the mistake of opening my mouth in the changing room. This is great. I murdered him the other way. We lost 1-0 and Andy Melville scored the goal. So you can imagine the stick I got off the lads and Baz after that game. But then my second game was a massive game. Wolves at home. It was a midweek game. Pack St Andrews on a terrible pitch. We won 2-0 and I managed to get both the goals. So I was off to a flyer, really. But yeah, remember it like it was yesterday.
Yeah. And this one's pretty much from me, though. So like I think it was the 2002-2003 season, or maybe in the 3-4 season, and the double over Villa. What was that like? Because being as a Blues fan, like it's everyone's dream. Do you know what I mean? So what was that like?
Yeah, it was amazing. Obviously, when we got promoted after the playoff final, as soon as the fixtures come out, that's the first game you look for. I think it was a Monday night, wasn't it, at home? And in all my games at St Andrews, I would definitely say that was the best atmosphere I ever played in. I knew we hadn't beaten. I've spoke about it many times. We hadn't beaten the tunnel that night. That they just looked like they were terrified in the tunnel, rabbit caught in the headlights, and we got off to a great start. Obviously, the Enkelman Enkelman goal, and we ended up absolutely battering them 3-0. Brilliant night. One of the, if I was picking games, it'd be my top 5 games of a 15-year career. That'd be right up there with the best of them.
Yeah. I was going to say, Dev's like, what's like the standout game for you when you was playing for Blues? Would you say?
I mean, there's a few. It's difficult to pick, to be fair. Obviously, that Wolves game that I spoke to, getting my first 2 goals at St Andrews in front of the Tilton. That was, that was amazing. The playoff final, unbelievable game to be involved in. The Villa game. I mean, both Villa games, but obviously the one at St Andrews after 16 years being out the top flight to play them. And, we were written off. We were written off by the press. We were written off by their players. And to hammer them 3-0 and then beat them 2-0 at their place was great. Yeah. And then, one that I always think back to was my debut in the Premier League when Brucey brought me back in for the Leeds game. I'd been suspended for the first 3 games because I got sent off in Scotland on a pre-season tour. And then he brought me back. He brought me back in for the Leeds game. Managed to get the first goal, which was the first ever Premiership goal at St Andrews, and we beat a really good Leeds team that I think got to the semi-final of the Champions League that year. So there's 3 or 4 games. It'd be really difficult to pick one out.
Yeah. Lovely. You got any questions, yeah?
Yeah, but I'll let you get your questions in first, mate. Because
okay. You played with Dugarry, didn't you, Devs? Yeah. So other than Dugarry, because I'd imagine that's going to be your answer. Yeah. Who was the best player you actually played with on your side? You don't have to be at Blues; it could be at Notts County, Sheffield United. And who is the best player you played against?
Oh God, it's a really difficult question because you take into consideration different positions and things like that. I remember I was at Sheffield United with Dean Saunders. Dean Saunders was a really good player. You look at people like the Horse. What he did for the club. I'm not just on about. I mean, you talk about Christoph, you're talking about skill and flair and World Cup winner. But I think for actual what people did for the team, I sort of look at that. I think the best winger that I played with in my career, and obviously was always the opposite side to me, was probably Stan Lazaridis. Stan was a fantastic winger. Yeah, real good fella as well. I was fortunate I played with people like Steve Nicol, like I said, Dean Saunders, Paul McGrath and Ian Rush were at Sheffield United when I signed for them. Obviously coming to the end of the career. I think defenders best I played with. And again, he was coming to the end of his career. Steve Bruce was unbelievable. He came to Blues at, I think, 37 years of age. And, you look at Brucey and you see the nose and the scars, and then you just think, he's just a head it and kick it centre half. But Brucey was brilliant. You don't have 10 years at Manchester United if you're a mug. So he was fantastic. But it's really difficult to pick out the best ones I played with, people that was great servants for the club, Ian Bennett, Michael Johnson, people like that. Best I played against, obviously, again, I was fortunate. Henry, Figo, Bergkamp, Zola, all those, Stuart Pearce, Ashley Colby, being predominantly right-hand side, they were a nightmare to play against for different reasons.
What an era, though. That was a footballers, though. It was just...
Yeah, I mean, I remember...
those guys.
Yeah, the season we got promoted, 2003 in the Premier League, it was the season of the Invincibles. What actually amazed me most about them, I was suspended for the first game down there, first game of the season where they'd done us 4-0. And I played in the game at St Andrews and just lining up in the tunnel, standing next to them, Henry, just how big they are, Vieira, just like all of them were like 6'2", 6'3". I think they've done us again 4-0 at Blues, so we got hammered both ways. But yeah, I was fortunate. I think the standout player for me this season we got promoted was Zola. Zola was unbelievable.
Some player, weren't they?
Yeah, we were. I think we played down at Stamford Bridge and we were 3-0 down in about 20 minutes. I think Zola had scored one and he'd set up 2 for Good Johnson. But his movement, his awareness, his touch, everything was unbelievable. And then obviously I was fortunate enough to play for Scotland against, Figo and Ballack and people like that. Yeah. And funnily enough, one that always sticks out in my mind as well, when I was at Notts County, We got to the final of the Anglo-Italian Cup a couple of years. First year we played against Brescia, and they had Georgie Hadji playing, who, you know, for the older ones who remember him, was Romania captain for a long time and known as their best ever player. And he was unbelievable, Hadji. Absolutely unbelievable. So he'd be up there as well, and Scholes. And it's a really difficult question, because I could say one to you now. Then half hour down the line, I think, I played against him. Played with him. So I think, you know, it's a difficult question just to pick one. Obviously, you know, Gary springs to mind at Blues because of what he'd done. I think there was people that did more for the club, miles more for the club than Christoph. But in that season where everything was like a fairy tale, beating Villa, stopping up comfortably, he was like the cherry on the cake, signing a World Cup winner and European Championship winner with his ability and his CV. So he's an easy one to pick there. But it's a hard question, that.
Paul, something's just came into my mind, because I'm not sure if Nick's seen it, but the last time we spoke, he did a podcast with somebody. I can't remember who it was. And I love Robbie Savage. I did as well in that team. And it was a podcast when you was talking about Robbie Savage when you was sharing a room. We shared. I mean, Sav, you know, I think for 2 years, Sav for 2 years, Sav was our best player. You know, he was brilliant, Sav. He was the heartbeat of that team.
Yeah, he was.
You know, he was fantastic. A great lad. I know he left under a bit of a cloud, but he was absolutely brilliant around the dressing room. Absolute lunatic to share with. You know, I'd say we'd go down for dinner on away games, and I'd go back to the room and he'd be hiding somewhere and in just his boxer shorts or nothing on, you know, and then like just jump out and start wrestling you, grabbing you around the neck. I'd have to physically get him down and choke him until he stopped. And then it's all right, we can go and watch a telly and go to bed then. But he was just crackers. He was a Mickey taker. He was a character. But the big thing about Sav, what surprised me, because obviously we all thought the same as what everyone thought when he signed for the club. Oh, who's this poser, big head and nightmare? You know, the blonde hair everywhere. But he was a miles better player than I thought he was, than I give him credit for. You know, he could pass, he could take free kicks, he could tackle, he could nick a goal.
Yeah, he was.
You know, he was brilliant, Sav.
Just quickly on Gary, Devs, because this was asked. We had Tom Ross on was it Saturday night, Jay, or Friday night? Friday night, weren't it?
Friday.
This was asked a few times. So, you know, when Gary was at the club, was he getting flown over for each match from France? No, that's not.
No, he was in training. He was in training, okay. Christoph. I don't know where that one come from, but he was there and he trained. Obviously, Brucey made allowances for him because he had a bad knee and he was, you know, he was getting on a bit. And I think when you've got someone, you know, of that stature, of that ability, who's had that career, you know, you nurse them through a little bit. And that's what the two best managers I played for in my career were Brucey and Neil Warnock. And what they were both brilliant at was man management. Neither of them were too heavy on the coaching side of it, but they were brilliant man managers. And I think when you get older players, you have to adapt the way they train. And, you know, Christoph, let me say there was a lot of allowances made for him. But Bruce used to say to us, like, if we used to moan, if it was a hard session and Christoph sat it out in his Bruce's comeback was, well, when you win the World Cup, you can have a rest. So it was great. But no, he was there all the time, Christoph. He was never flying in and out just for games.
Yeah. Because that was asked a couple of times on the other night when we had Tom Ross on, and I was quite interested to know that as well. There's a question here. Looking back on your career, Devs, would there have been anything you'd have done different?
Yeah, I think loads of things. I was quite outspoken as a player. You know, my disciplinary record wasn't great. I look sometimes, and I played. You know, I'm not going to name any names, but I played with a lot of players who were happy to just sit there, pick the money up, and weren't really bothered whether they played or not. You know, and I look back and I could have probably earned more money and had longer in the game if I'd have been happy to sit there and be on the bench. But I never wanted to do that. It's a short career. You know, I can look back and say I played 499 first team games. I scored over 100 goals, played in some big games. I didn't just sit on the bench and take the dough. But yeah, you know, I had a lot of flare-ups, a lot of arguments with managers, which in hindsight, maybe I should have kept my mouth shut, but that just wasn't me. You know, I wasn't like that as a player and I wasn't like that as a person. But all in all, you know, I had 15 years of doing something that I absolutely loved, and I would have done it for nothing anyway.
Yeah, 100%, mate. And just on, kind of like life after football, because I know that's where like a lot of footballers struggle, is, adapting to kind of normal life. And so what have you been like focusing on since you've been retired then, Devs?
Well, I mean, I had my own coaching business for 15 odd years up until COVID. COVID put pay to that, where I'd go around the local area, the Midlands, and I'd coach kids from 4 to 14. So it was, there was that really, and then obviously COVID came. That all shut down, and since that I've been, the last 4 years I've been working in the construction industry in recruitment, supplying labour to the big building sites that you see round and about everywhere.
Yeah. Lovely. And I know we was just saying before we come on air, you've done a lot for charity and stuff like that. Dev, do you want to talk about that?
Yeah, I've had a community interest company for 6 years now, Paul DEVLIN Fitness and Wellbeing, CIC. We've done everything from personal training sessions with the homeless when Jeff was doing a lot of work with them. Ladies only fitness classes. We do walking stuff. I work with an addiction charity doing cycling classes. In the school holidays, we do free coaching for kids on free school meals in Erdington and Edgbaston. So we've done lots with the CIC, all within sort of my community, really. I'm an Erdington kid, so a lot around Erdington. Yeah. We do like Edgbaston, Quinton, places like that as well.
Yeah. Lovely. Jai, anything?
Now, reel your questions off, mate, because I know that you were at the end, didn't you?
Yeah, we did. Okay, so one sec, Devs. Who do you think is the best Birmingham City player, other than Trevor Francis? Because we had this kind of question on the other night. Who do you think the best player Birmingham City's ever had? And talk a little bit about today's team as well, Dev. Like, because it's a massive transition we've gone through this season from the way we used to play.
That's what the question I got for Paul when you've
the way we used to play to the way we're playing this season. Would you not agree?
Yeah, I mean, just touching on the player one at first, it's an easy one for me because he was, I had many heroes from when I went down there as a kid. Mick Harford, Tony Colton, Dave Langham, Mark Dennis, Blakey, Oppy, people like that. But Frank Worthington for me. Frank was an unbelievable player. Flair, ability, the type of, I know it's an easy thing to say, but you'd pay money to watch him. So for me, I'd say Frank Worthington. I've been fortunate enough as well in the ambassador role that I do for the club to take people around and interview them as my guest. And Ian Atkins, for example, who played with Frank, they tell me how good Frank was. So for me, I would say after Trevor, Frank Worthington. That's taking nothing away from Hatton, Latchford, people like that.
Some players, isn't there?
Yeah, I mean we've had some great players down the years. The transition into the football that we're playing now, and I don't just think it's us. I was guest at Notts County on Saturday, and I went to their game. Everything now is heavily possession based, and it's pass, which is great if you're converting that into 2 or 3 goals and you're going outside. Do I like watching it? I got to admit, I find it boring at times. I love to see flying wingers going on the outside, getting to the byline, getting crosses in the way. Stan Lazaridis used to do, the way I used to try and do, John McCarthy, people like that. Very rarely see that now because wingers tend to play on the opposite side. Nobody plays with a big target man up front who they're going to hang the ball up to anyway. But yeah, I mean, it's good. I just think it's okay having possession, but I think possession for possession's sake and not going anywhere. You got to have an end product for all this possession. I look at the Shrewsbury game the other week and it was 70, 80 odd possession and we get turned over.
Madness.
When you're having possession like that, you've got to be nailing teams 2, 3 and 4-0. And, no doubt we will do along the season. But yeah, it's a big change. Obviously, the gaffer's got his principles. It looks like that's the way he's going to play. And, it's like your man at Spurs, isn't it? Postecoglou Spurs. Everyone's going on to him and he's saying, no, I'm going to stick by my guns. And, that's great. But I just think at times as well, you have to adapt. Sometimes going direct and a little bit more route one isn't bad football if it's not done aimlessly. You know, look at people like the Duke and, you know, who've had down the years who thrives on crosses in the box and getting the ball up to him.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's a big transition from what we've seen down the years. But, you know, if it gets us out the league and then out the championship next year, who am I to say that it doesn't work?
Yeah.
But, you know, from how you used to play, Paul,
yeah,
and obviously how the game's changed nowadays, do you think it's changed for the better or?
Yeah, I mean, I think this is always it's always an awkward one, isn't it, when you ask a former older player, because we all look for rose-tinted glasses. I think the game now is probably a bit more boring across the board. I'm not singling out Blues here. I'm just looking at across the board, because it is that possession. It's definitely loads less physical. You know,
100%.
It seems now every tackle's a foul and every foul's a booking. So the physical side's gone out of it. And I just, you know, I used to love the days where people would play with two up front. You know, so front. There's always, you know, in my era growing up and playing, you always had a front two. Not many teams play with an out-and-out front two now. I think a lot of people try and redesign the wheel when they're coming up with these formations. You know, it's a false number 9 and a withdrawn 10 and all that. So no, I would say I think it was more exciting years ago than it is, you know, a few years ago than it is now.
I tend to agree, Devs. I really would, mate. I tend to agree, you know. But you've kind of like got to move with the times, especially when you're getting like young coaches like Chris Davis, and you know, he's been like round the likes of Ange Postecoglou. So I think we've just got to roll with it. I mean, I went to that Shrewsbury game, and honest to God, I said to my pal at one stage, I said, "This is fucking boring, man."
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I think that's the danger, isn't it? You know, you can look at the stats and think, God, we've had like 80-odd% possession. But if most of that is passing it along your back four and backwards and sideways, you know, if I'm playing against that, I'm saying to my team, just sit off and let them have it all day. Just let them have it all day, because it's when you, sooner or later, you've got to go down the other end and get the ball close to their goal. And that's when you tend to see the excitement. You know, I think that's why Barry Fry was held in such high regard, and he was that loved by the fans, because, you know, in no way you couldn't call him a master tactician, but it was exciting. It was exciting. You knew watching Blues, you were going to be on the edge of your seat. Listen, you could get beat 5 or you could win 5, but you'd have an exciting time.
Yeah. Do you know as well, Devs, like just quickly on the weekend's game against Blackpool, I was so pleased that he kind of switched it around and went with a different formation.
Yeah.
And it seemed he went more direct. We had less possession, more shots. Because I was a little bit worried that he hasn't got a plan B. We mentioned this the other night, you know, especially after that Shrewsbury game, I was thinking, I hope he's not one-dimensional like this Postecoglou. Do you know what I mean? So it was quite refreshing. Although I didn't get to see the game, I've heard and you know, I've read that he did switch it up and change it. So yeah, man.
Credit to him. Obviously, great to see Duke on the score sheet. Absolutely legend for the club. But you've got Duke, you know, to a limited. Obviously, you know, he won't mind me saying he's coming to the latter stage, closing end of his career. You got Dykes, so you've got the players in that squad where you can be a little bit more direct and get the ball forward quicker. And like you say, it's great. I think signs of good managers. You know, you have to adapt at times, and I think the higher we go, I mean, touch wood, we'll get out that league this season at the first time of asking. Then obviously you go into a better standard, and in my opinion, the most difficult league in the world to get out of, then the Championship. And, you know, we might have to adapt the way we play again.
Definitely, yeah. And just quickly on just the ownership, Debs, are you around them much, and what's your thoughts on?
Yeah, I'm down. I haven't spent any time with them. Obviously, I'm around the ground when I'm doing the ambassador stuff on match days, and we see them round the day. I just think, you know, I still pinch myself now. I keep thinking I'm going to wake up one of the days and it's going to be back to us being skint and crap again. But no, it's brilliant. You know, I think you look at the plans, what they've got, not just for the club, for the city, for the stadium, for that sports quarter. You know, the only sort of thing you could level at them is they made a mistake with Rooney, but they rectified that. You know, it's brilliant. Even I was saying to someone at the ground the other day, even when we were getting promoted with Sullivan and Gold and Steve Bruce and that, and even when we were playing in the Premiership and we were beating Villa, I don't ever think I still don't think there was a buzz about the club then that there is now.
Yeah.
You know, because people see that, and this might be, you know, over-egging it, but, you know, we'll look at what Chelsea went through when Abramovich took over. I look what Man City went through when their new owners come in. I look at what Newcastle are going through. And you think, well, actually, we could be on the verge of doing something similar. And you have, you know, you have to pinch yourself at times. And I just think, you know, they've been an absolute breath of fresh air. You know, they're going to take the club, hopefully, on a fantastic journey. I mean, you know, we've got to back them all we can by turning up at the games and doing what we do best, which is creating a fantastic atmosphere. You know, in 5 or 6 years' time, we could be in a 60,000 brand new all-seater stadium that's one of the best in the world. And I've no doubt, you know, if we've got a team that's challenging, hopefully, at the top end of the Premiership there, you know, we'll be selling that out.
Yeah, definitely, man. Like, the future's never been brighter, has it, Devs? 100%.
No, like I say, even when we were in the Premier League, I don't remember there being a buzz around the place like there is now.
I think we're getting more fans this season, if I recall, than we was in the Premier League. Do you know what I mean?
I think so. I think every game's near enough a sellout. So you're probably right. But you know, I remember speaking to, because I left the second season in the Premier League, and I remember I think we stopped up for 4 years, and I remember towards the back end of that, I can't remember if it was Brucey or McLeish had taken over. I can't remember. A lot of my fans actually got bored because they were going down and they were saying, "Well, we're setting up that defensive. It's either going to be a 0-0 or a 1-0." And that. So I think all those 16 years that we had that top flight to try and get there, but people still. This is what I'm saying. People still want to see, you know, exciting football. And I think towards the back end of the spell in the Premiership, where it was just a case of let's just try and hang on here, you know, people got a bit fed up with that. So we can be a tough bunch to please at times, supporters.
Definitely.
Yeah, we love that. We wouldn't change it for the world, though, would we?
No, it's brilliant. It's brilliant. And like you say, we're on a great journey now.
Should we turn the phones on, Nick?
Yeah, crack on, brother.
Yeah, you'll probably get some blue now as he's ringing in there, Paul.
No worries.
To you, mate. So don't forget to answer the phone, Nick.
Yeah. Yeah, any questions for Devs? Get them in the comments, guys.
Yeah. Or ring in as well. We'll put the number on at the bottom as well, and I'll just change the. I'll change that now to.
Yeah, there's a phone number. Yeah, so we're trying to rip Tom Ross off. Do you remember his phone-ins, Devs?
With Tony Butler, I do, yeah.
Yeah, man, Tony Butler was the original one, wasn't it?
Yeah, I was on it a couple of times with him about 30-odd years ago, yeah.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
It's just a hobby, and it might just passionate blue noses, mate.
Yeah, that's it. And I think if you can't be passionate about the club now, you've got no chance, have you?
No.
Well, it's ringing. Colin. How you doing, Colin?
Hello, mate.
Paul, can you hear Colin?
Yeah, I can hear him, mate.
Yeah, you can hear Colin. Nick?
Yeah, I can
hear you. How are you, Colin? You right?
Well, mate. I've just been watching your Facebook draw. We've got Lincoln.
Lincoln in the fourth.
Home.
Yeah, Lincoln at home.
Okay. Any questions for Devs, Cole?
Yes. Who is the best manager you've ever played under?
For Blues?
Any manager?
Yeah, it's two, and the two standouts for me are Steve Bruce and Neil Warnock. You know, I was fortunate. Neil Warnock signed me from non-league when I was a kid at Notts County, and then obviously Brucey played with him for just over a season when he came as a player. His first job as a manager was player manager of Sheffield United. I was at Sheffield at the time, and then obviously he brought me back to Blues the year we got promoted. And I'd say definitely Brucey and Warnock, and both of them really similar. Great man managers, great motivators. Not so much on the coaching side. You know, Steve Bruce had Mark Bowen with him in my time at the club, who was an amazing coach. Neil Warnock had Kevin Blackwell with him again, really good coach. So definitely, it'd be difficult for me to pick between those two. So I'd have to say Steve Bruce and Neil Warnock.
Yeah.
And incidentally, Neil Warnock nearly got the Blues job a couple of times down the years.
He would have been the Blues, mate.
He would have been amazing for the Blues.
Yeah, man, 100%.
Because he got on really well with Sullivan and Gold and with Karen, because obviously he signed he had Pesh for quite a good few years. And I know for a fact, if it wasn't for the fact that in that era that we had Trevor in charge, and they probably gave Trevor a couple of more seasons than they would have done anyone else, they would have took Warnock. They would have took Warnock, and it's one of his big regrets never managing the Blues. And I really think he would have been a massive success for us.
It would have suited him, wouldn't it, Devs? 100%, man.
Oh yeah. I mean,
what a geezer.
Having known Warnock and having known obviously Blues, that would have been a match made in heaven. And I said it to everyone last season. If we'd have got Neil Warnock in for the last 10, 11 games of last season, we would have stopped up. I've got no doubt in my mind we'd have stopped up.
Yeah, 100%, mate. Any other questions, Carl, for Devs?
Just a quick one. How many points do you reckon we'll win the league by?
It's got to be 10, 15, isn't it? Surely. No, listen. If we win the league on goal difference, if we win the league by 1 point or 20 points, I ain't bothered. Main thing is obviously, I mean, let's be realistic. Let's put our cards on the table. If we don't go up, there's going to be massive inquiries.
Murders, mate.
It's a huge failure if we don't go up.
Yeah.
Personally, I think we should go up winning the league. I think but I'm probably being a little bit greedy and naive there. But I think we've got more than enough in our management team, in our squad, in our supporters to say, listen, really, we should be winning that league.
100%. Nice one, Colin. Thanks ever so much for your questions, brother.
I just hope we'll win the league by about 10 points.
I hope you're right, Colin. I hope you're right, mate.
Yeah.
See you guys.
Nice one, Colin.
Keep right on, mate.
Bye.
Up the Blues, mate.
Bye, Colin. Bye. Yeah. I think you're right, Devs, man. We've seen like the reaction when we lost against Charlton and Shrewsbury. The reaction from the media and kind of like other supporters is mad, innit? Never seen nothing like it.
Yeah, and we've got to expect that, because we're the big boys in that league.
Yeah.
We've got more money than anyone else in the league. The ground, the support. So we're there to be shot at, and let's have it right. We should be winning that league.
Should do, yeah.
No two ways about it.
Yeah, 100%, man.
Duncan.
Hello, brother.
How you doing, mate? You all right?
Hi, Duncan.
Duncan.
Big Devs is on the stream, Duncan.
Yeah. Hello, Paul. All right, bruv?
Hey, mate, you all right?
Yeah, I'm okay. Nick, you all right, bruv?
Yeah, you're right, Duncan. How are you, mate? Shoot away.
I'm okay, mate. Cheers, thank you. I've got a couple of questions, if I can fire away.
Yeah,
fire away, brother.
Was there a massive difference, Paul, in the standards in the Championship to the Prem, when you got promoted, like the fitness, or did you have less space or more space,
Yeah, I mean, it's a really good question, Duncan. I would say physically, fitness-wise, it was easier in the Premier League. But the players were just better. Whereas if you played in the Championship, if you played up front, you might get 2 or 3 chances every game. You might get one every other game in the Premiership. And the same way, if you gave a Premiership forward a chance, 9 times out of 10, they're scoring. So I just thought, I didn't think it was harder physically. You're without the ball for long spells of time because they're better players that can keep the ball. And at both ends, they were just far more ruthless.
Yeah. How's that, Dunk? Any more questions for Dev? You got any other questions?
Yeah, well, yeah, but I don't want to span his brain too much. But like the first touch in the Prem, is it as good as what they like? We all watch the TV, but from what I see, I mean, there's players that come off the bench in the Premier League and they don't touch the ball. The first time they touch the ball is in the goal. Is their first touch that good?
Yeah, I mean, when you go to the Premier League top level and again international football, the ball's under control straight away, 99.9% of the time. So, the touch, the control, the way they keep the ball is, that's why they're playing at the top level, isn't it?
Yeah.
No, I think it's amazing, Paul, that you've come on this show with these two pair of reprobates.
Love you,
but the good thing is as well, mate, you're a born and bred Brummie, and that makes a lot of difference to the fans. You know, like I can go back to Tatey, and back in the old days, we had lots of Brummie players playing for us. But you know, when it's one of your own, it's it's a bit better. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it makes a difference, mate. Then it does.
Yeah. 100%. Nice one, Dunk.
I won't keep you guys, all right, because there'll be more people calling. But thank you.
Yeah.
I appreciate it. Jay, Nick, thank you very much, guys. All right.
Lovely. Thanks ever so much, Dunk.
Thank you, bruv.
The Blues, mate.
Cheers, brother. Keith Earl saying he's seen you in a bar in Torremolinos, going back a few years now, Dev. So he's saying, great bloke, very humble. He scored for Notts County, Meadow Lane. I was there at that match. Really rated him. A legend at Blues.
I wondered what he was going to say then when he said he's sitting in a bar in Torremolinos.
Yeah.
Blue Shadow. How you doing, Blue Shadow?
Yeah, you're right. I'm good. How are you?
Oh, you Blue Shadow. You okay?
Yeah, I'm good, Nick. And hi to Paul Devlin. Absolutely. Grown up.
Cheers.
You're welcome. My question is, you've done a thunderous volley against Wolves back in 2002.
Yeah.
Is there any players from our team now that you think has scored a better goal than you?
Yeah. I mean, I remember that goal because that was actually my last game on loan before I signed back permanently from. I think we were either 2-0 down or 2-0 up. I can't remember. We drew 2-2 with Wolves that day. But yeah, I mean,
is that the game where the roof blew off?
I think it was. Yeah. I think it
was.
Oh, was it that game? Yeah,
if I remember rightly. But yeah, we've got some good goal scorers, haven't we, at the minute? With the likes of Stansfield and May, obviously Splintermine and Pike and people like that. So we've got guys more than capable of scoring good goals like that in the team at the moment.
Yeah.
My favourite at the moment is Iwata. Like he can hit them. So yeah. Definitely.
Yeah, I mean it's always good, isn't it, when you see a goal going in from a little bit of distance. I've always thought as well, goals that go in off the crossbar. If you see a goal that always looks far more spectacular than the one that just goes in the net.
Do you remember Letitia Devs when he used to score? I remember he scored one and it stuck in the extension. Remember the old goals, I
mean, bloody hell, if you look at his top 10 goals, I think every one of them was a worlder.
Yeah. Any more questions, Blue Shadow, for Devs?
There is one, whether you can answer it or not, but here we go. Don't worry, I'll keep it clean. The question is basically, obviously being a player at Blues, and you get opposition that you don't like. Is there anyone that you can actually name that you've had a bust up with on the pitch or even behind the scenes?
There was too many to mention down the years. If you had if you had a bust up with someone, you'd wait for the next game. I mean, obviously everyone hated Muscat, Kevin. I actually got on a lot with Kevin Muscat, but there was loads. And I remember playing at Blues one year, and they had Wolves had a left back called Mo Kamara, and he did me at St Andrews, and I waited and we played away at Molyneux. And it was my quickest ever sending off. I got sent off after 6 minutes. I just thought, right, you're getting it today. The ball went by him. It was his first clip, and I absolutely smashed him. It was an outrageous tackle. But yeah, I had that with loads of players. And what you got to remember, when I first started playing in the early mid-90s, and I was playing right wing, defenders would be allowed to smash you once for free. Yeah, man. And the ref would go, well, you've had your one now. So it was almost like you have to expect that you're going to get absolutely smashed and there's going to be nothing you can do about it. That's gone out the game, thankfully, now. But yeah, there was always rivalries. Obviously, mainly with me, it was with fullbacks and Danny Tiato, who was another Australian, funnily enough, who played for Leicester. And I hated playing against him, and we kicked lumps out of each other. So you get that all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you had the likes of Razor Ruddock and Steve Bull. He was quite.
Yeah, but I mean, listen. Bully, I got a lot of time for Bully because I would have loved Bully to be in a Blue Nose because he was fantastic. He was quick, he was strong, powerful. You know, obviously Wolves legend, but what a great fella as well. He's the type of bloke. Same way we like Jeff Horsfield and Duke and people like that. You want him in your team, and you know, Bully was, you know, an exceptional player. To play for England when you're playing in the 3rd division was unreal, really unheard of.
Yeah.
Nice one, Blue Shadow.
That's brilliant. Thank you for that, and keep right on. And
keep right on, Blue Shadow.
And I'll catch you next time.
Keep right on. Up the Blues.
Up the Blues, mate.
Lads, I'm gonna have to walk because my iPad's gonna concave, so I'm gonna try and get to a charger.
Get to a charging point. Yeah, no worries, mate. Keith Earl saying here, can Paul remember the goal he scored against Leeds, one of our first matches back in the Premier League? Can you remember that, Dev?
I can, mate. I can. It was actually a set piece, which if you speak to any pros, they'll tell you. You work on these set pieces in training, and you're like, they never come off for weeks. And if they come off once, you're lucky. And that set piece with Granger, Savage, and myself was actually the first time we ever done it. So it worked. It was the first and only time in my career that happened. And we couldn't use it again after that because everyone knew. But I remember it. And they had what was his name? The goal. It was England goalie in goal. I forget his name now. But I remember it. And that day as well, Damian Johnson scored probably an even better goal. And we beat that really good Leeds team.
Hello.
Hello there. Yeah, it's Paul.
How you doing, Paul?
All right, Jay. All right, Paul Devlin. How are you?
Hiya, mate. You all right?
You're right, Paul.
Well, you were my era, really, Paul. I've got plenty of memories, and it's. I'm sitting here watching this. It's like going down memory lane. I was just thinking of I was thinking of the games that stood out for me, and apart from the Villa games, I particularly like that. I went to the game at Villa Park when Ian Dublin headbutted. You played in that game, didn't you?
I come on sub in that game. I started the one at St Andrew. Yeah, and then
was that the same game where Horsfield was in goal?
Yeah. Me and Jeff were on the bench. And it was funny because we were warming up in front of the Villa fans, and you can imagine the stick we were getting. And then obviously we both come on. Horses ended up scoring, going in goal. I think they had 2 sent off, didn't they? Good Johnson got sent off, Dublin got sent off. So I remember that game. I remember that game really well.
Yeah. Do you know what Savage said to Dion Dublin?
Do you know what? I've been asked this a million times down the years. And I don't know. It wouldn't have been anything. But it wouldn't have been anything nasty because Sav wasn't like that. You know, people have sort of intimated to me what it could have been down the years. And Sav just wasn't that type of person. It would have been a wind up. It would have been something along the lines of hammering you. It would have been something along them lines.
Yeah, you certainly made a brilliant night for me. I remember going back on the train to New Street Station. And there was loads of them all hanging around, and it was just laughing in the faces. It was just unbelievable.
Well, let me tell you, I had a brilliant night that night.
I bet you did.
Because me and Jeff ended up in the Meerkat till about 3 a.m.
Yeah. Meerkat, man, fucking hell, yeah. Any other questions, Dave?
He's like Norwich for me at the Millennium.
Oh,
you played in that game, didn't you? You took a penalty as well.
Yeah. Amazing. Yeah, amazing game. You know, I just remember the ground being full, with it being the roof shut, and you know the yellow and green one end, blue and white the other end. You know, to play in a game like that was amazing, and to be fortunate enough to take one of the penalties and score one of them was a dream come true for me.
Yeah, taking a penalty like that. I mean, I'd be just shitting myself, to be honest with you.
Oh, listen, I was, mate, because you're taking it in front of 75,000 people. You know, we haven't been in the top flight for however many years, and all that's going through your mind is if I miss this penalty, I'm always going to be remembered as the Blues fan that missed a penalty in the playoff final. You know, I was absolutely shattered because we played the 90 minutes and extra time. You know, I always used to have a long run up when I took penalties. I had to shorten my run up because I had cramp in my calves. You know, the goal looks about an inch wide and the keeper looks 20 foot tall when you're running up to take it. But you know, we had some good penalty takers, and I was pretty confident that we'd do all right on penalties, and we did in the end. But it was a relief, to say the least, when it went in, mate, I must admit.
Yeah. I remember having sitting the tear that day, to be honest. I think that's one of the only times I've had a little cry at the football. Massive.
It was emotional.
Honestly, mate, when I was getting interviewed after, I could feel myself welling up, and you know, you feel your voice going a bit, because I think you know, you're really tired, you're emotional. You know, I knew what it meant to everyone that day. You know, because it meant just the same to me.
Yeah. I mean, I'm a similar age to you, and that you've sort of lived the life that I always wanted to. I just wanted to score when I was a kid. I just wanted to score a goal at St Andrews. And that was
listen, I've been really lucky.
You've won that, and that's amazing.
Yeah, I mean, like I say, I remember my first goals in front of the Tilton against Wolves it was a Tuesday or a Wednesday night. You know, to do that was a dream come true, and you know, to have 2 spells at the club and to be involved in some big games and back in the top flight. You know, I count myself as being a really lucky boy.
Yeah.
I don't think you were lucky. You were talented. Yeah.
No, listen, mate. Listen, I mean, we all laugh and joke, but you know, there was a lot of hard work gone into it. You know, I wasn't ever the most skillful, gifted player in the world, but one thing I always tried to do, you know, I tried to work hard, and I tried to get stuck in, probably a little bit too much at times, but it was lovely. You know, I had 15 years as a professional footballer. And I loved every minute of it.
It's a decent stint, that, isn't it, Dev? Really, 15 years.
Yeah, I was lucky. I was relatively injury free. I had one operation on my foot in that time. I'm paying the price now. I've had a hip replacement, and my ankles are knackered and all that now. But yeah, I was lucky, mate. You know, and like I say, I think if you look at my career total, all in first team appearances for everything, was like 599. So I can't grumble, mate, to be honest.
Yeah, man. Any more questions, Paul?
Yeah, what was that Clinton Morrison like in the dressing room? Because
it was good, lad. Yeah, good.
He was a bit of a weirdo, didn't he?
Yeah, another one that, you know, you see him on the telly or you see him on the pitch, and you can sort of jump to conclusions about him. But Clinton was a good lad, you know. Yeah, he was good. I mean, we had obviously Clinton and Sav in the dressing room. It could get a bit lively, so you used to have to. How can I put this? You used to have to tell them off now and again if they stepped out of line and got a little bit too lippy. But no, good, you know, real good lads.
Yeah.
Did you ever fancy going into management yourself?
No.
I know you've been a coach.
The coaching side of it never interested me. I was always more interested in the fitness side of it than the coaching side of it. And to be honest with you, I always said if I had to deal with someone like me and try and coach them, I don't know how they've done it, but no, it never really interested me. And I know, obviously, speak to a couple of my mates who have tried it. Some very successfully. Some did it for 5 minutes and hated it. I just think as well, you know, with the dealing with modern players now is very difficult. I don't think you can manage the way I was sort of managed as a young kid. I don't think you can manage that way anymore. So I think, you know, you need a different skill set as a manager now to what I've got.
Yeah, I mean, I don't. You'd have to have a lot of patience, wouldn't you?
I think so.
The question I wanted to ask, you know, you played for Scotland, didn't you?
Yeah.
What one of the proudest moments of your life was when your old man's Scottish, isn't he? Is that right?
Yeah. You know, it wasn't some sort of distant grandparent. You know, my dad and all that side of the family are from Coatbridge. Yeah. You know, I spent lots of time in Scotland as a kid and as an adult. You know, every spare minute was spent up there. So it was great, and to get the chance at, you know, at 30, I was 30 when I got my first cap, and I got it at Hibs Ground, Easter Road against Canada, and I had all my family and friends there from where we're from in Scotland. So, you know, if I'm being honest, it probably all come a little bit too late in my career, but to get 10 caps was fantastic.
Did you score? I can't remember that. You did?
No, I didn't manage to score.
No. You had a little. Were you good mates with Tatey as well? Do you remember?
Yeah, Tatey was my big drinking partner at the Blues. He was my going out buddy. So it was. And you know what? You know, people that didn't see him play don't realise just how good Tatey was.
I remember.
You know, if it wasn't for the injuries, Tatey would have got a big move to a big club. You know, a real good natural footballer. Probably didn't live his life right at times, as he'll tell you. But great lad, and it's brilliant.
He's doing well now, though, isn't he?
It's brilliant to see him at the club mentioning these young kids that we've got coming through the academy now. So yeah, he was my big pal, Tatey, and chalk and cheese as well, because he was a mad Rangers fan, and all my family we were all mad Celtic fans. So when it was Old Firm Day, whoever, like, if it was a Sunday and I'd been out boozing and he'd been out boozing and Rangers beat Celtic or the other way around, there'd be like 50 text messages flying backwards and forwards all day for whoever's team won. But great lad, real good lad.
You were definitely a fan favourite at Blues, weren't you? I remember your song. It was like, do you remember it? The Mighty Quinn.
Yeah, I do actually. Yeah,
you loved me like good everything.
No, it was brilliant, mate. And, you know, I was lucky wherever I went, Notts County Blues, Sheffield, Watford. You know, the supporters always took to me. And I think if you look, you know, like I said earlier on, if you give 100%, people will forgive you for not having a good game, not being the most gifted. If people can see that you leave everything you've got on the pitch, you know, you'll get their backing. And you know, I tried to do that as a player.
Yeah. Well, I'm gonna let someone else have a go now, but I just would like to thank you for all the great memories, Paul, and keep right on, man. Thanks for you're using your own time now, and I really appreciate it. I mean, this is brilliant tonight. Thanks. And thanks, Jay.
No worries,
thanks, Paul, Devlin.
Cheers,
thanks, Paul.
About 6 points down on Paul.
Nice one, Paul. That's me. Good mate. That is Paul. Yeah. So man, some great memories. I've accidentally put someone in the sin bin. I've put Blue Shadow in the sin bin by accident.
As the moderator.
Yeah. I know. Yeah. I've just had to message and say, sorry, Bob. I've accidentally put you in the sin bin. Okay. What's Ricky Gray said? We need a ball playing goalkeeper, lads. I know a lot of banging on. Just quickly about the current setup, Paul. What do you think we're missing anything? Do you think we need to go into the? Have you watched? You've obviously watched a lot of us this season.
Yeah. Like I said, I'm down there. I mean, I don't do every home game. Myself and then Clarkson do it, and obviously we see some of the away games when they're on the telly. Yeah. What do we need? I mean, it's a difficult one. I'd like to see another keeper coming in if I'm being honest.
Definitely, if we're going up, we need one, don't we?
Yeah, but it's so difficult now to get a keeper who can do what he wants us to do. Essentially, you want a ball playing keeper who can play the ball out for the back. I'd always want a keeper who's better with his hands than his feet. But you know, that's the way the game's going. Listen, you know, I think we've got a big enough squad. Definitely
for this season,
more than enough for this season.
I
think January will be interesting to see who comes in January, because I think we'll spend significant again in January. But you know, I don't think there's anywhere really to me that's screaming out. We need one of these. You can always strengthen everywhere, but I think for the level we're at now, I think we're okay, and one or two additions will be brilliant.
Yeah.
Hello, it's Lee Burke. You all right?
How you doing, Lee? You all right, mate?
Lee. Couldn't get on for the last 2 weeks.
Oh, sorry, mate.
Phone line was busy.
No, it's all right, mate.
How are you, Paul?
I'm all right, mate. I'm good, thanks.
Yeah, I think we'll go up. Yeah.
Yeah, I do, mate. Definitely.
Yeah.
Any questions for Devs, Lee?
I can hear your voice now, Nick.
I know, yeah.
He hasn't
it's been a long time coming.
Yeah.
Because we've been trying to do this phoning call, and it's been a nightmare, isn't it, Nick? Like
technical issues.
Yeah.
Oh,
trying to get backwards and forwards, honestly, but I ain't give up doing it. So we're at the stage now where we can all talk.
I remember you playing, Paul, because I'm 41. I remember you playing. I'm 41.
All right, mate. You're a bit younger than me.
Yeah, because Lee's an Albion fan, but his second team's Birmingham.
Yeah.
Oh, right, okay. Yeah, to be fair, I always scored a few against the Albion down the years. Always enjoy. I nearly went there on a couple of occasions as well. So I was very close to becoming an Albion player under Gary Megson.
Yeah. Jerry says here, what's his question to Paul's? What's the best ground you've played in, Paul?
Oh God, I mean, it's again a difficult one. I think the best atmosphere for a club game.
Best atmosphere.
Yeah, best atmosphere for a club game, I'd say, was Anfield. I was fortunate to play a packed Hampden in a Euro qualifier against Germany. That was unbelievable atmosphere as well. You know, I was involved Scotland, Germany, and Dortmund. I mean, that's an amazing ground, Dortmund. You know, when you go into Old Trafford and places like that, you know, I think the only one that I didn't play at in my career was Everton. I was suspended for the Everton game, but I think Anfield was an amazing atmosphere.
Yeah.
Have you got a question for Paul Lee?
Yeah. I seen him. He was a good player for Blues.
Cheers, mate.
Very good player.
Thank you.
Okay. Any questions for him, Lee?
We'll win on Wednesday. Stockport. We'll win 4-1. We're doing a 4-1 again.
4-1.
I hope you're right, mate, because I'm working that night. I'm doing the ambassador role that night, and I'm looking forward to it because my guest, and I haven't seen him for years, is John McCarthy. So I'm really looking forward to
all right, then. All right. I'll let someone else on now.
All right,
Lee.
Have a good weekend. I'll see you soon.
Cheers for ringing in, Lee, mate. Keep right on.
Cheers.
Nice one, Lee. He was a good player, wasn't he, Davis, as well? John McCarthy. Was he a right winger?
Yeah, he was a right winger. Trevor
winger,
paid over £1 million from Port Vale. He was a bit unlucky with injuries, John, but real good player, Macca.
Yeah. Right, good player, man. Blue Radley saying, love these shows, Jane, knocking it out of the park, getting these legends on. Yeah, it's really nice to get some of the ex-players on. I know you do. You've done it. You've done a lot for Totem Talking in the past, Paul.
Yeah, down the years, mate. Yeah, done loads with him.
Just now the same as Totem Talk. We're just passionate fans. We nicking, I mean, my channel is because of how close I am with my dad and stuff. And I like to create these memories and I'm getting you on and hopefully some other Blues players. This is what it's all about, mate. The Blues fans love it.
That's brilliant. It's good to relive old memories.
Yeah, man. Keith saying, can you ask Paul, did Stan Lazaridis ever miss a penalty? Or Brian Hughes ever miss a penalty? Or did yourself ever miss a penalty?
I was lucky, really. I was a penalty taker at most places. And I probably took in my career 21 penalties and probably scored 20 or 19. But I did miss the same penalty twice in a game for Sheffield United against Queen's Park Rangers. Yeah, I mean, I was never one for placing it. I just used to blast it. So I took the penalty against QPR, blasted it. The keeper saved it. Referee's gone retake. Thought, all right, there's no way he's going to save it again. Blasted it again and he saved it again. But Stan was a good penalty taker. Usually was a really gifted player. But
great.
the playoff final, the shootout down at Cardiff, we'd practice the penalties every day for weeks leading up to that. I still don't think you can ever replicate that walk from the penalty spot from the halfway line to the penalty spot, in the game. But we had some good penalty takers, and Hughes always, even to this day, goes mad at Darren Carter because Hughes was the 5th penalty taker, I think, and Daz never let it get to that stage, so he's a bit gutted about it, Hughes.
Do you still speak to him? Paul?
Yeah, we still speak.
Yeah, a lot of you.
Yeah, I mean, we're still on. We still got a group chat. I mean, we've got a former players group chat where you got the likes of Noel Blake, Mark Dennis, Tony Coates, Mick Hart. We're all on that. Then we've got another chat for the Blues All Stars as well. So I mean, we don't see each other as often as we'd like to, but we're still. I had myself and Michael Johnson last year. We went over and spent a weekend at Olivier Tebeli's place in France, at his vineyard in France, and
Lovely,
and a good
man.
weekend on the drink with Tebs. So that was great.
Yeah.
You know, I hadn't seen him for over 10 years, and he's a great fella, Tebs. But you know, there's a special bond amongst that group of players from that era. There's a real special bond, and you know, there were a great bunch of lads, all very dear to me.
Yeah.
Did he ever moved abroad on that, Paul, or they're still a lot of them still living in the UK?
I think Stern lives in America. Stern John's in America. Obviously, Tebs is in Bordeaux. But I think majority of the lads are still. I mean, they're here, there, and everywhere, but the majority are still in England.
Even
Stan's back in Australia. Sorry, Stan. So yeah, I think the foreign lads are quite. You know, a few of the foreign lads are obviously not in England anymore, but you know, obviously Daz Carter, John Owen, and Bennett, Husey, Stevie Vickers, people like that. They're all, you know, all ends of the country.
Yeah, man. And just quickly on someone's asked to ask you, Devs, about what like what we're doing in the local communities and that. I know we've always been kind of active in the local communities, but it seemed like it went very quiet when we had the Chinese owners. It seems now we've got these new owners in like Gary Cook and Tom Wagner and that we're doing a lot in the community, don't you think?
Yeah, very much so. I know Jeremy Dale's heading up the foundation, and there's a lot of sort of involvement with the club now in local schools, local communities. You know, the new management and the new directors that have come in, that they understand how big the club is in the local community, and they want to make those ties even stronger. You know, at the end of the day, that football club is what it is because of the people that go and support it. And the community round and about, so that they realise the value of that, and they want to strengthen those ties.
Yeah. Thoughts on Oliver Burke? Choose the same thoughts on Oliver Burke. Dev's fucking hell, man.
Oh, listen, what can I say that hasn't already been said?
How he's made it as a footballer, mate.
Well, listen. I knew about him years ago because all my family are Celtic fans, so I knew he came through it. And it's always, but he's big and he's strong and he's quick. Well, so's a horse, so's a great Dane, but I wouldn't play it. I wouldn't play it. I just think, I remember when we were struggling and he's doing TikTok videos, dancing with his missus and not bothered whether he's playing. I mean, I keep going back to, when I was playing. If that would have happened, well, it wouldn't have happened in our era because you'd have had lads like Martin Granger, Darren Purse, Jeff Horsfield grabbing you round the throat, going, "What are you doing?" Never mind dancing like a prat with your missus. Get out on the pitch. I just think, and it's not the kid's fault. He's played in an era of big money where he, for whatever reason, has managed to get 11, 12, 13 moves out of it. It just looks like he's got no hunger. Enjoys probably getting paid as a footballer, but isn't prepared to put the work in to be a footballer. I thought, people always ask me who's the worst player that you played with, and I have a joke, and it's probably a little bit unfair. I say Ferdinand Coley when he came to Blues. He wasn't the best, but I'd struggle, if I'm being honest with you. I'd struggle to put anyone above Ollie Burke. And I don't know.
He's shocking, mate.
He might be a really nice kid, and obviously he's got something because managers keep buying him and keep playing him. But I think ultimately he'll look back at the end of his career, and he'll probably have only played 100, 200 games, and he'll think, what did I do? Maybe if he'd have spent a little bit more time training or getting stuck in and wired into tackles than dancing on TikTok, he might have played more games.
Here's one for you, Paul. Talking about Oliver Burke, worst player you've ever played with. Like, you don't have to be at Blues; can be any club where you thought, "How the hell's he made it as a player?" Without trying to, without outing him,
No, well, like I say, Ferdinand Coley sticks out in my mind, and Ferdinand was a great kid. He came. I think they only signed him because he was a Lucy size, mate. If I'm being honest. But he was a great lad. But I remember he came in as a right back, and I remember playing away at Fulham, and Fulham had a left back, great player, Terry Phelan. played for Republic of Ireland, man. He's a really good player. But Terry Phelan played 700 games and scored 2 goals. And one of them was against me that day because Ferdinand came in. I was playing right wing and Ferdinand was meant to be playing right back. So I remember Terry Phelan playing a 1-2 and going past me. So I'm looking behind me thinking, where's my fullback? And he was stood in front of Stan Lazaridis on the other side of the pitch. So he just, I don't know, he was just like, he used to wear metal studs about that long in training and boot everyone. Yeah. He was just, like I say, a really nice kid, but I don't know how we signed him. So I don't think he played many games, if I remember rightly. And then he ended up, just to top it all off, leaving Blues and going to like Lazio or someone like that. And I remember all the lads in the changing room saying, we've got to get his agent. His agent is obviously the best agent on the planet. If we can get him, I think we had to pay him about 400 grand as well to leave. It was just unbelievable, you know. But yeah,
I can't even remember him, you know. Can't even remember him.
Listen, mate, listen, he's in my memory forever because he caused me to have a shocker that day at Fulham. But listen, it's a difficult one. I mean, I'm taking the mick out of Ferdinand there and Oliver Burke. Sometimes you just go to places, isn't it? And it doesn't work. It doesn't work out for you. Listen, if they're playing at that level, they're obviously really good footballers, aren't they? That, you know, you don't get to that level. But I just think sometimes clubs don't suit players. I also think there's a heart thing and an effort thing that you can be the best player in the world, but unless you've got the heart and willing to put the effort in, you know, it's not going to work out for you.
Yeah.
That's one of the things that I love about you, Paul, is you're not afraid to, you know, speak your mind, you wear your heart on your sleeve. I love that, like when you answer questions and stuff. That's one thing I've always admired you for, like as a footballer, you know, watching you interview.
I mean, listen, I look at the telly now, and a lot of it's sanitized, and everyone toes the party line. And well, that's not what goes on in dressing rooms. That's not what's said. It's like that was always the one. No player goes out deliberately to hurt another one. Every manager I played. So if you was playing against someone and they had like a standout player, their special player, especially Warnock and Brucey and people like that, if you get the chance to do them. Not obviously break the leg and finish the career. If you get a chance, if you can take the ball and the man, take them both, smash them. Every manager used to say that to you. Nobody goes out deliberately to hurt. And Martin Granger went out every week to deliberately hurt everyone. Jeff Horsfield went out every week to deliberately hurt. If I had the chance to hurt everyone, it's almost like, no, you can't say that. You got to toe the party line. And like I say, I'm not going on about break legs, finish careers. If you could nail someone and they
stuck in it,
the amount of times that I've seen players get absolutely nailed and they got took off, and the manager would go in and congratulate whoever done it like they'd scored a hat trick. That was all part and parcel of the game. But I think you have to give. Everyone can sit on the bench and not give an opinion. I think that's why Roy Keane's so popular now, because he's not afraid to give an opinion, and sometimes it might be not what people want to hear.
Oh, it's class, isn't he, Roy Keane? Absolutely class, man.
You know, he's the only one that I'd sit and listen to, if I'm being honest.
Yeah. I think we need more Roy Keanes and even to the. This might be controversial. Joey Barton's.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Yeah, honestly, another one. Not everyone's cup of tea, but not frightened to say what he believes. I just think that's getting less and less now because people are getting censored and shut up for having being told to shut up for having an opinion.
Yeah, it's crazy, mate. Hopefully, just quickly going off topic of football, hopefully with Trump and Elon Musk and that, this is going to get watered down, all this nonsense. Do you know what I mean? But
I think there's going to be some big changes once Donald gets back in, isn't there? So
I think so, mate.
I think it's going to be an interesting 12 months to say the least.
I think so. For the best, I think. But yeah, man, really appreciate you coming on. Is there any more questions for you? You want to ask him, Jay?
Yeah, I was going to ask him, like, what are you looking forward to for the future of blues, Paul?
Say again, mate. I lost you then. Say again.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
What are you looking forward to, like, the most in the coming years of blues? Like with Tom Wackle's ambitions, like the stadium or the or where the squad's going to be?
Yeah, I think there's so much. I think if we carry on the trajectory we're going, like, first and foremost this season, I'm looking forward to us for getting back in the Championship.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to getting out the Championship and back into the Premier League. The thing I'm looking forward to the most is when we get into the new ground, and I hope I'm invited to the game because I might be long gone by then. I'd love to be down at the first Premier League game at the new ground and see who scores the first Premier League goal. I was fortunate to score the first Premier League goal at St Andrews, and I'd love to be there the day the first Premier League goal at the new ground scored.
Yeah.
One more question, Paul, if that's all right as well.
Yeah,
I'm quite sentimental. So, like, when I go to St Andrews, I take it all in the atmosphere. I look at places where, like, I used to go with my dad and stuff, all the different areas I've sat. Are you like that in terms of when St Andrews does get knocked down? Are you one of these that might get upset about it, or are you just thinking of the future and looking forward to it?
I think a bit of both. I think a bit of both. You know, we need to move. We need the new ground if we want to be, you know, a club going places. We have to do it. But you know, I remember standing on the till. You know, certain places on the pitch where I shot and scored from, and the edge. You know, it'll be very, very sad, and it will bring a tear to not just mine, many people's eyes. But at the same time, if we want to go in that direction, then we have to do it. So it'll be a really emotional day, that last day at St Andrews. It's a place that's dear to all our hearts. I think a full St Andrews of a night game under the lights when it's rocking. There's no better atmosphere. There's no better atmosphere in the game. But we're going to bigger and better things, hopefully.
Yeah, got to move with the times, ain't it, Paul, man?
Yeah, you have. Loads of clubs have done it. So it'd be sad, mate. But hopefully, it's on to better things.
Yeah, Paul, nice one, Paul.
So much, mate, for coming on again, mate. Honestly,
no worries, mate. My pleasure.
Well, mate, I really love it, mate. Honestly, super.
Yeah, really appreciate it, Paul, and taking the time out. So, judging by the comments, everyone's loved it tonight. So, thanks ever so much, Paul.
No worries. Cheers, lads.
Have you got a message to the Blue Noses before you go, Paul?
Listen. Best supporters in the land. Just keep doing what you're doing and keep right on.
Yeah, super. Nice one, Paul.
Blues, Paul.
Cheers, brother.
Cheers, mate. See you later, lads.
Cheers, Paul.
Bye.
Yeah, man. Yeah, how good was that? Memories, Blue Shadow memories are best, especially with legends like Devo, man. Yeah, I really enjoyed it. Love you, Devs. Em's saying, thank you for the memories. It's what it's all about, the memories, man. Thanks, brilliant. Thanks very much. Everyone's saying thank you to Devs. Well done, Jay, for getting him on. Really enjoyed tonight. What a legend. Right. Cheers, Dev. Some good calls as well. So chuffed, Blue Radley, so chuffed the club are reaching out to Blues legends like Dev and keeping them involved with the club. Yeah, a lot of that as well. Yeah, man. Keep right on.
We can try and get some more on, but just getting in touch with them because I'm about crap at getting off of them. I wouldn't know where to look. I mean, by chance, it was only because I added him on Facebook that I could speak to him.
Yeah. I mean, I can try and get Tighty on. I know a few people know Tighty.
Yeah.
I might be able to get Tighty on, but I know he's busy because he's doing bits with the club, you know, Tighty.
Yeah. We'll have to see what we can do, mate.
So we've got Lincoln at home. I knew we would get a nightmare draw.
Yeah. How are you feeling about this one?
I don't know. I was with my pal in the gym today, and he's a Villa fan, and I was proper rubbing it in. You know, obviously they're on a really bad slump. I couldn't stop taking the piss in the sauna. I think I rubbed him up the wrong way, to be honest. He's a bit like me. Like when Blues lose, he's done it to me, and I'm half in the frame of switching. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. Like so I had to be very careful what I was saying, but I did rub it in. And we was talking about the FA Cup draw, and I said I want Villa at home. Do you know what I mean? I want Villa at home. I think we can beat. Not that we can beat anyone at St Andrews, but like I would fancy our chances if we pulled Villa at home was what I was pretty much saying. But I said we'll end up getting someone like Leicester away or something, or another League One club. So it doesn't surprise me that we've pulled Lincoln at home. I'm glad it's a home tie though.
Yeah,
what about you, Jay?
Yeah, I'm me, mate. I was going to say, I'm glad it's a team that's in League One as well, and not a team as well.
Yeah.
I mean, we'll see what happens. Just enjoy the ride, but it's extra games where the boys the boys can gel. You know what I mean? So the more time they get, and like the Blackpool game that we was talking about with Paul and stuff, you know, the changes that we made and stuff, you know, the squad, the more direct, that kind of stuff. You know, this is the thing about Chris Davies, the squad. You know, that we can adapt to certain situations, and you're talking about like a plan and stuff. And the more games we play, and the more familiar that Chris understands the players, because it is a new squad still. We can adapt as the weeks go on. So, you know, I'll just say it as an extra game and more time with Chris. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it was quite. It was nice to see so many changes. I didn't think he'd make 10 changes. It was a different formation, I believe. I mean, it was. He's
ballsy, and I love it. Like he's.
Well, we've been screaming out for a plan B, haven't we, Jay? Do you know what I mean? And it seems like the last 2 games we've had less possession. I mean, 46% we had on Saturday. So what I'm hearing is balls into the box, going a little bit more direct. So that's really pleasing, because that was one thing I was saying to my pal about Unai Emery. He's only got a plan A. Do you know what I mean? And up until last couple of games, I was thinking, Chris Davies ain't got one way of playing. So really pleased to see he switched it around on Saturday.
Dog's got to go as well, because not in a bad way, but like I've just never. I mean, I know he's a strong player. He does create chances, and he does pick off, you know, some good passes to create these chances. But like I never really got the Lyndon Dykes thing, you know. But it is nice for him to get a goal and, you know, get his confidence up as well. So we'll see as the weeks go on. You know what I mean? So yeah, I'm buzzing that Dykes got a goal.
Yeah. And me, mate. And me, because it's one of them. I was speaking to someone earlier, someone who watches our show, and I was saying about Dykes because like when he played that game against, I can't remember, he missed that sitter, and I was like, oh, he's rubbish. Like I never rated him anyway. I thought he was going to be like this. Yeah, and the thing is though, Jay, like I think there's something with us fans. Well, certainly with me, I've done it over the years where I've called out a player, or I've said, like, say for Dykes, for example, like if I say Lyndon Dykes is shit on air now, right? There's that thing in your mind. You've got to stick with it. Do you know what I mean? Like I don't know what it is. You have to stick with it.
I know what you mean.
Yeah. But I'm very flexible. Like, you know, listen, he plays for Blues, man. If he's going to get, I mean, for me, he doesn't start over. If Stansfield and May, I mean, even to the point of if Stansfield and May was on the pitch, I'd probably even still put Djukovic on the bench over Dykes at the moment. But that's just my personal opinion. But I want him to do well, like you said, yeah.
Look, at the end of the day, mate, you know, me and you are passionate Blue Noses. We do this as an hobby, and it's just a general conversation. We don't love slating, really, do we? We have a bit of a moan like on the day, but, you know, we ain't abusive, and we just enjoy talking about Blues, don't we? Like, and, you know, all these Blue Noses are on the journey with us, and that, you know, we see them at the games.
Yeah, man.
It's all about, mate, you know, and it's just making memories and stuff. But yeah, it's just really exciting, mate. And talking to Paul and seeing how he used to play for Blues and what he thinks of where the club's going to go. It's just really exciting, isn't it, mate?
Yeah, man.
You know, he's been on the pitch, and you know the way the game's changed, and you know, it's just got to move with the time.
It was great to have him on, man.
It's going to be
got to move with the times, mate. Got to move with the time. Yeah, but accidentally sin-binned. I put Blue Shadow in the bin, didn't I? Because I put Lee Harvey in the bin. I yellow carded Lee Harvey because he was going up. He put something like, because I don't know whether Devs was reading the comments. You know, Lee Harvey's saying, man, he's been watching me for fucking since the start. He put something about getting players what are playing for the club now. So I sin-binned him. And then the next comment down, I actually deleted him, and I thought, oh, no, I don't want to delete him. I just want to put him in the bin. And then the next comment down was Blue Shadows, and I accidentally put her in the bin. So I had a nightmare. Tuesday said, Blue, you getting sin-bin was an accident. It was a red card offence. Fucking funny, man. Yeah, nice one, Paul, for that as well. So, yeah, man, what's Paul say? When we move to the new stadium, it's people like Dev that will help us keep our identity. Yeah, I think that's important, man. We keep our identity.
Yeah, 100%.
It's going to be difficult, though. It's going to be difficult, but yeah, man. So I've managed to get a ticket for Barnsley. Someone who watches our streams message me because I mentioned last week that I want to go to Barnsley. I haven't got a ticket.
My dad's going there. My dad there.
Oh, is he? Oh,
Yeah,
sound.
Yeah, make sure you say hello to him, Nick.
I will do. Yeah. I've been Barnsley a few times. It's a nice little city town or whatever you want to call it. Actually, Barnsley. Yeah. It's really nice. So I'm looking forward to that this next Saturday. 5,000 sellout. Looking forward to seeing a few people down there, man. So yeah, buzzing with that. We're all chipping for an Uber. Yeah. We'll just quickly run through these comments and
yeah. No worries. Blue Shadow, I got sin binned.
Yeah, it was like I messaged you straight away, like saying I can't believe I binned you. So that's a been England, didn't I? Like a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah, but how can you sin bin the moderator though in the chat?
I know, yeah. It's a shocker, man. Heskey, now you're talking proper. Heskey, yeah. Yeah, because he played for Blues as well. I completely forgot about Heskey. Was he there just one season, weren't he, Heskey?
Yeah. I liked him though, Blues, Heskey, but he was at the later stage of his career though, weren't he? Imagine if we had him when he was in his prime.
Yeah, man. Yeah. I mentioned this dunk to. I messaged Jay when Djukovic scored. I said, I bet Adam's having a meltdown.
Well, Adam was going to come on. Anybody come on? Like we was already like an hour into it, weren't we?
Adam was going to come on tonight, guys. Yeah, man. Was he trying to get on? Was he, Jay?
Yeah, he was, but we was like an hour.
Sure.
It was. I need to message him in a bit.
Yeah, man. So yeah, Djukovic scored, man. Still doing bits. Yeah, don't call man. No, yeah. Yeah.
I feel so entitled losing away to Chelsea. Fuck the Villa.
that was shocking again, to be honest, guys. I don't know if anyone watched the game. Yeah, man. Nice one, guys, for all the comments and the donations and the phone calls. The phone calls were really good tonight as well, weren't they, Joe?
Yeah. Superb. And well done to Lee as well for ringing in.
Yeah. Well done, Lee Burke. Really well done, man.
Yeah, it's just an hobby, mate. You know, passionate Blue now. The founding's class in it, mate. I'm just glad that we can all talk. Can't get over it, mate. It's wicked in it. Like when you take over the calls and that, and I'm just watching you talking to him. It's just brilliant, mate. I love it.
Yeah. It's mad because I'm only just getting used to it because I'm used to you just answering the phone and so it's the last couple of episodes I've started to more interact with the callers. So
the first two times you was getting a bit like, whether you just forgot to speak to him or not, but like you're getting more involved with the calls and that now, mate. I love it. Nice.
Yeah, Palmer's brilliant in his chooser, man. Ice cold Palmer. What a goal. What a performance from him, actually. I'm so glad we've got him for England. Do you know what I mean? Absolutely quality. Come on, Nick. Yeah, see you Wednesday. Yeah. So should we finish off on a scoreline prediction? Are you going, Joe? Wednesday, Stockport. You're working it now?
I'm working, yeah. I'm going to see if I can try and sort something.
Oh, yeah. It'd be good to see you down there. Big Dunk's going, isn't he?
I know.
Big Dunk's making an appearance.
I know.
Yes, Tone. Where's Tony been, man? Right, you got to go out working again tonight. Why do I put myself through this? So what do you reckon for Wednesday then, mate? Do you think we can do them?
Yeah. 3-0, fuck it.
3-0.
Come on, you blue boys, let's have it.
I've always said I fancy us against anyone at home. I know Northampton weren't the greatest, but I do. I think after them last couple of games, I think we can. I think 2-0. I think 2-0 Blues.
Have you heard off your Plymouth mate as well? Because the last time we spoke about this, I know that this is a Blues thing, but we was on about you got one of your mates, didn't you, that you do your podcast with, your Plymouth mate?
Yeah. I mean, he didn't want him in the first place, so he's obviously now very much saying, I told you so. Yeah. I spoke to him. I think it was this morning. He rang me this morning. He's obviously calmed down a little bit. Yeah, he's just gutted, mate. He's pretty much where we was after we lost to Leeds. The away fans actually never called for getting sacked in the morning, but there was a lot of abuse thrown Rooney's way. But Yeah, they're not happy. They're not happy. He's not happy. He hasn't been happy since the coming. I don't know, mate. I can't see him walking. I think he'll have to get sacked. I don't think Rooney will walk.
He needs to throw the towel, he might could do punditry or something like that, because he ain't a manager.
Yeah. Like we said last week, last phoning, he was decent over the summer for the Euros. Do you know what I mean? Doing a bit of punditry. But, yeah, man.
But yeah, I'm gonna go for 3-0, mate. Wednesday.
3-0, lovely. I'm gonna go 2-0 Blues.
2-0 Blues.
2-0 Blues. Yeah. And what about Barnsley, Jay? Just in case I don't see you before Barnsley, we've got Stockport. We're both saying you're saying 3-0. I'm saying 2-0. Barnsley away.
2-1 Blues.
Yeah. I'll go 1-0 Blues.
1-0
Just
Blues.
sneak it.
Yeah, you reckon?
I think so, mate. Yeah. I think we're back.
I hope you guys enjoyed it. Me and Nick love doing this, don't we, mate? It's just a hobby.
Yeah.
And
definitely, mate.
if you could please hit the subscribe button for me and Nick, Boy in Blue, Chatting Blues. It is completely free. It'll notify you guys when we do some more videos. Anything you want to say before we go on it to the Blue Noses?
No. Just thanks ever so much for the phone calls, the support we receive week in, week out. The comments, all the nice messages and stuff. Me personally, and I know you do, Jay, just really appreciate it, man.
Yeah, man, and me too, mate. Honestly, every single one of you, and you, Nick, son.
Yeah. No, Sanjay.
Brother, mate. But keep right on, Blue Noses.
Keep right on, guys.
Shit on the Villa as well. We'll get that one in before we go.
Yeah.
I'll see you later, Blue Noses.
See you later, guys.